I'm not quite sure what we're going to do about it because the genie seems to be out of the bottle a little bit at the moment. I don't think we're going to get rid of, you know, TV cameras and video referees and things like that. I think those, that boat has sailed. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to be able to do about sort of going back to the good old days, Mark.
Well, there's got to be an acceptance across the board that referees will miss some things.
Yeah.
They won't get all the high tackles. Because that's where the creep started, isn't it? Things that referees missed that players stayed down for. That's where it started, really. So things like that in key moments that referees maybe missed, not because they're crap, but because it's a fast physical game and they're trying to not blow for everything possible, and then because they get criticised for that too, and then the odd thing goes missing, but what happened is players stayed down. So what we said is you only get a penalty if it's also going to be a card, but then what we've seen is players making it look even worse, or the consequence seem even worse, so that you then get a card.
Yeah, and then we've
and then
also,
it progresses to teams playing with a man up, and
I know, and we've also seen, and I understand this, a reaction to both us trying to protect ball players, so late shots are being penalised much more frequently, cards much more frequently than we've had before, and a response to the need to protect people's heads for concussion and long-term damage because of playing the game, meaning we're seeing a lot more penalties for high shots or making contact with the head, and a lot more yellow cards for contact with the head than we used to have. And all of those things are then encouraging, building on the sort of temptation to draw the attention of the officials to something that a player doesn't think is quite right. I've been hit in the head here. I'm going to make this by looking down.
Yeah, and you also get players reacting to maybe perceived injustices or just desires to win at all costs. Because let's face it, some people have looser morals than other people.
Yeah.
Some people are Richie Myler. But the Greenwood one, I thought that was harsh. I get what you're saying about another player took him over the top, but it was all just kind of like... I thought it was unfortunate. And I think sometimes unfortunate things happen, and I think that's all it really was. But I can understand why it was... understand why it was given as a card, because there was a little bit of emotion of flipping him, but I don't think so it was careless. There was no concept in his mind about what the consequences might be, I think, is what you would say about Greenwood there.
Yeah, but, I don't think it was at all deliberate. I think what I would say is, in those circumstances, you have to have a little bit of care for the ball player. And it clearly ended up in a dangerous situation. So I can understand Smith deciding he needed to do something. I think he made quite a bizarre decision to sin bin Greenwood rather than Levi. But I can understand why he wanted to do something, because they ought to have, between the two of them, they ought to have taken a bit more care than they did. I think it's a shame in many ways that we spent a lot of time here talking about the yellow cards. I can understand why we have. Because actually, notwithstanding all the comments we received on the game, I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a really good game, and the finish was brilliant.
Yeah, and I think
such a great end to the game.
And I think there was what's his chops in the Ashton Golding was saying in the booth after, weren't he, about how you still have to defend that as Huddersfield, and it was good play around the ruck by Dwyer and Austin to make the score happen at the end of the game. I thought there was some really good play earlier on in the game as well. Like I say, I thought we saw more of Ollie Russell's running game than we normally used to seeing. I think we enjoyed some good attacking play. There was the Fuzzer-Tua break, which was really, you don't see that sort of poor quality of defence out of Huddersfield very often. But I think you saw some good attack and some good defence, and I think you saw some really strong performances. That's how I sort of saw this game. Actually, I just cast my vote on the R-League app for Myler being player of the match when he then went and became cheat of the week.
Absolutely. He had a really, really good game. That try he scored in the corner was real, took some doing.
Yeah.
Against real opposition. I thought he played very well. I thought Dwyer played very well for Leeds as well. I think it was a really good. I mean, Huddersfield have got that structure, the way they play. They always seem to be able to create little overlaps, little sort of 3-on-2s on the outside. They do that really well. I thought it was a terrific game of rugby. Thoroughly enjoyed it. More of that, please.
I was entertained as well. I wasn't as entertained by this next match, the Thursday night television match, where kind of, even though mathematically Toulouse, it was possible for them to stay up, I don't think anyone believed that they had any chance going into this match. And certainly by the time that the match was over, the match that was on at the same time as it over in Wakefield confirmed that even if Toulouse had won, it wouldn't have been enough. But it was Toulouse hosting Catalans in front of 9,168. It looked like there was plenty of Catalan supporters in the crowd, as well as obviously a big local interest in Toulouse for the first ever French derby in Toulouse. It's a real shame that we might have to wait at least 2 years, if not longer, to see it again. Liam Moore was the referee. At half-time, it was 12-8 to Catalans. In the end, they ran away with it a little bit, 24-14, despite a very good Ashall Bott try to finish the match off. In the team stats, more metres, better average gain, and an extra break for Catalans. They did give up more errors, 11-7, so we'll need to work on that part of the game for the playoffs, which they're now confirmed in.
Yeah, Mikkel Gudemon made 155 metres. Joe Chan, soon to be in the NRL, 138 metres. Ben Garcia, 46 tackles. The really hot Fuad Yaha, who seems to be scoring multiple tries every game at the moment. 3 tries, 110 metres and 2 clean breaks. For the losers, Ali Ashall Bott, 1 try, 5 tackle busts, 136 metres. Elias Bergal, 145 metres. Lateral Schmaukel, 119 metres. And Andrew Dixon, ex of Saints, 40 tackles.
EFC 78JU says Catalan were on top of their game like the last French derby and scored try after try to do the double over Toulouse. There was quite a few scraps in the middle of it all, as all derbies aren't a friendly one. Olympique had their chances and got their scoring points in the fixture, but it was not enough. C'est tout pour le moment, jusqu'à la prochaine fois.
Yeah, I hope you translated that, Mark. What does that mean?
I have no idea. I didn't translate
it. Okay.
Someone will know.
News stories. Lambert Belmar from Toulouse Olympique got a grade A, other contrary behaviour. No match penalty notice for that, so he'll be able to play at St Helens on Monday.
Well,
Saturday.
He play. I don't know. Did he play against?
Don't know.
Did he play against Hull on Sunday? I don't know. Anyway, look, this game. I didn't enjoy this one.
Well, I didn't enjoy much of it.
I didn't find it captivating.
No, there were a few moments in it that I thought were really good. There were 2 tries in a very short period of time from Yaha down the left wing, where Tompkins and then Whiteley put him in the corner. I mean, he had
the try set up by Whitley was really good team play.
But both of them, the passes were absolutely pornographic. Brilliant play by Catalan. For those, there were a few odd things in there. The Hankinson try was a complete joke. Not sure how the hell that happened, because he never got the ball on the ground, or certainly not during the period where we ought to have been.
I agree. I sometimes wonder with the games in France. I don't find the picture The pictures
good.
I feel like they don't always get the right angles of the action, or cut to the right angle at the right time. I don't know, but on the video ref they should have all the angles, I suppose. I didn't understand either.
No, I didn't understand that. The other thing I would say is I thought Drinkwater. I mean, Catalan were on top, and then Drinkwater was flipping mad just before half time to get him sin binned.
Well, it caught him dropped, didn't it?
Yeah, and quite rightly. I mean, it was absolutely stupid. You could see Tompkins doing his nut as Drinkwater managed to get himself put in the sin bin, and he missed half a dozen bloody kicks as well. So he didn't do himself any favours in that game. No doubt he'll come back this week playing, ready to play. But he didn't have a great game, and it wasn't a great game overall. But there were some really nice moments, I thought, in it.
Yeah, not quite the last hurrah from Toulouse that we would have hoped for, but
no.
There we go. But it was great to see some enthusiasm around the sort of crowd for the match and that sort of thing. That was at least a positive.
Yeah.
And good to have on pitch interviews from the French games this weekend from Sky Sports. Getting the microphone in someone's hand who's already in France who can do that work for them and stuff. It was good to see. Okay, another game that I don't think inspired much, to be honest, was Wakefield versus Hull KR. Played at the same time. Hull KR was 6-0 up at half-time, but Wakefield rallied in the second half, winning 18 points to 6. 4,653 was the crowd, I think, for Wakefield's last home game of the season. Marcus Griffiths was the referee. In terms of the team stats, errors and penalties hurt Hull KR, losing both counts with 5 more errors and 2 more penalties. Despite making ground at 1.4 metres per carry worse average gain, weight of possession meant that Wakefield made more metres and they also made more breaks.
And for the winners, Lee Kershaw, 1 try, 6 tackle bus, 165 metres. Lewis Murphy, who I got to see close up only yesterday. What a terrific winger this fella is. 1 try assist, 5 tackle bus, 152 metres and 2 clean breaks. Jack Croft, 143 metres. David Fafita, is it going to be his last game? I don't know. 11 marker tackles, 9 tackle bus, 106 metres and 3 offloads. For the losers, the unstoppable Ryan Hall, 113 metres. Elliot Minchella, 43 tackles. Matt Parcell, 1 try assist and 45 tackles and 5 tackle bus. And Kane Lennett, 104 metres.
Yeah, a couple of fan views in on this one. Wakey White, one from each side. Wakey White said, bittersweet night at Bellevue as we confirmed Super League status, but Miller, Fafita, Batchelor and Arona played their last home games. Great scenes at the end when Big Dave climbed into the North Stand to celebrate with the fans, and then Arona, who was bizarrely wearing a garland of chocolate bars, joined us too and drunk a pint from his boot. In Australia, that gets you kicked out of the stadium, doesn't it? Gonna miss these boys, and Wakey now have a massive squad building operation ahead. And Tom Andrews said, feel of a pre-season game, no intensity, sloppy errors by good players. Wakey just wanted it more than the depleted Robins. It's a shit view at Wakey, but you see some interesting things, like Mag spraying the 4th official for a series of incompetencies. How Lino can run under a leaping Ethan Ryan 2 times unpunished is baffling, and the tackle Jez got banned for wasn't even a penalty until Murphy played hurt. So yeah, Jez Litton got a grade C dangerous throw, 2-match penalty notice, but I've not seen the incident to comment on it. Jimmy Kindhorse also got a grade B tripping charge, 1-match penalty notice for him, and then Lee Gaskell got a grade 8 other country behaviour, no match penalty notice for him. But they're the kind of nuts and bolts of it. But I mean, it seemed like this was a pretty dour game, livened up, and this was following along on social media, sort of whilst not being too engrossed in the Catalans-Toulouse game. So from the bits I saw on Twitter, it seems like the game was livened up by 2 moments, really. That Lewis Murphy finish that everyone should have seen by now, and if you haven't, watch the video,
Superman.
And then look at the freeze frame images that show just how amazing it was and confirm that he definitely did get the ball down. And David Fafita conversion, they seem like the 2 highlights.
You've got to love a retiring prop forward banging over a touchline conversion, and you think, well, why didn't you kick these during the rest of your career? It's happened to us as well. I think Stuart Evans for Saints did it. There was another Saints player.
Paul Anderson nailed it right off the touchline.
Anderson did it. Yeah, Anderson did it from the touchline. Yeah, brilliant. You've got to love